legitimizing invasion of our privacy, legitimizing the assault on our whole being. We know how the mainstream media works. We know how the pundits work. Because all we hear from them is, well, it is about public safety. It is about public security. But you know what? If anything was an example, the most latest immigration bill that was passed by Congress goes to show what they mean by public security and public safety, where $42 billion is being transferred for enhanced communication, for interoperability, for advanced surveillance equipment, for hiring more law enforcement agencies, for more data mining, for more metadata, for more information sharing, and more invasion of our privacy. But I think what's also very important that as we talk about and we hear about NSA revelations, police spying, police infiltration, police surveillance is happening every day, all day, 24/7. And I'm talking about Los Angeles Police Department. That's why the coalition came together 2 years ago. From diverse sectors of our community, from formerly incarcerated people, from youth, from immigrants, from undocumented immigrants, from poor folks, from Skid Row residents, from homeless people, from faith-based organizations, community-based organizations. Because as we get busy, we stay stuck in looking for answers through litigation, looking for answers through fighting for our freedom, fighting for our privacy. LAPD and local police departments are carrying on surveillance, opening up secret files every day, 24 hours a day. One example I want to give you, and that's why the Stop LAPD Spying Coalition came around, that in March of 2008, Los Angeles Police Department was a launching pad for this national initiative called the Suspicious Activity Reporting Program. According to the Suspicious Activity Reporting Program, LAPD now opens secret files on us for guess what? For taking photographs in public, for using binoculars in public, for using video cameras in public, for walking into an office and asking about hours of operation, for drawing diagrams, for taking notes, and many other innocent, everyday behavior where your files get opened. Then these files are placed in databases with LAPD's Major Crimes Division, with the LAPD Counterterrorism Special Operations Bureau. Within 24 hours, those files are sent to fusion centers. How many people know what fusion centers are?
Me.
For those of you who don't, fusion centers are literally these buildings, these structures, which are hub and spoke systems of information gathering, where your information is gathered, it is assessed, and then it's uploaded in databases and then shared with every local, state, federal, and tribal law enforcement agency in the country, including private contractors. There are 77 fusion centers in the country, and the biggest one is in Norwalk in East Los Angeles County. So the Suspicious Activity Reporting Program, which LAPD was a launching pad, has now been embraced and adopted by over 15,000 law enforcement agencies in the country. From March 2008 until April of 2012, just LAPD, and we haven't talked about Santa Monica Police Department, we haven't talked about the Sheriff's Department, we haven't talked about Torrance, Long Beach, or any other police department, only LAPD had opened over 5,000 files on people for engaging in innocent behavior. Completely innocent behavior. And when asked as to why are you keeping these files if people are innocent, they say, well, we're going to keep them for 10 years. And not only that, our files are being kept in these fusion centers. Another program that LAPD has is called the iWatch program. How many of you seen this tagline, see something, say something, on buses, metros, airports, and all that?
Yes.
That is creating snitches in our community. Because all these policies are based on provoking fear, suspicion, and violence against the other. We heard what happened in Florida. We heard what George Zimmerman said when the first thing he said on the 911 call, we have someone suspicious in our neighborhood. So these policies are not only based upon suspicion and fear, they provoke violence against each other. They provoke people to take up arms. They provoke people to consider everybody else suspicious. And guess what? The Inspector General of LAPD released a report in March of this year, out of which we found out in a race data that they gathered on these suspicious activity reporting programs, 82% of those were filed on non-white people. And you know who the largest group was in those SARs? It was African Americans. We are told to be suspect of those terrorists. My name is Hamid Khan, so but just by the virtue of that name and the way I look like, I'm a moving target. But there were less than 10% people of Middle Eastern origin in these files. So it's the same old program of COINTELPRO, it's the same old program of Red Squads, it's the same old programs of Public Disorder Intelligence Division. who are going after the civil rights movement, who are going after the workers' rights movement, who are going after black liberation, who are going after the Chicano liberation movement, who are going after the American Indian movement, who are going after poor folks movement. And that's what we see all over again. In September of 2012, LAPD renewed its intelligence gathering guidelines. And now what they can do, they can take on fictitious personas legitimately and friend you on Facebook. They can infiltrate and plant informants in political organizations based on an anonymous tip. And this is not just some pie in the sky fantasy that I'm giving you out there. You can go on the website stoplapdspying.org and you can find out exactly we have uploaded all these documents. And then when we talk about spyware that they use, trapwire technology, those right there exactly, those lamps and those cameras. LAPD and the City of Los Angeles Police has passed, and they have these contracts with these companies who have fitted these cameras, who put up real life, immediately, facial recognition and transmit your facial recognition to fusion centers. They've spent millions of dollars on this technology. And then the other one is called the Stingray technology. You hear about NSA, you hear about Facebook, you hear about cell phones. Stingray technology on the ground mimics cell towers, and it just puts a whole blanket around and listens to your conversations. So the point I'm trying to make is that yes, absolutely, you are fighting for the Fourth Amendment, but we are here right now in Los Angeles. This is something that we can do. We don't have to sit back. We don't have to reach out to our congressmen. We don't have to reach out because congressmen, they are making political careers. They made a political career about tough on crime. They made a political career about the war on gangs. They made a political career about the war on drugs. And now they're making a political career about the war on terror. The political leadership is not going to do anything. The police commission is not going to do anything because they are a rubber stamp body. The Inspector General is not going to do anything. It is us, the people. It is us, the people, who are going to have to take charge. It is us, the people, who are going to have to organize. It is us, the people, who are going to stop this bullshit from continuing anymore. It's not... Because it's not just an assault on the Fourth Amendment. It is an assault on our fundamental human right. It is an assault on our privacy. It is an assault on my being.
Yes.
I have the right to pull up my cell phone and take a photograph. I have the right to celebrate time with my family or my loved ones to record a video. Yes. I have the right to walk into an office and ask about an hours of operation. I have the right to sit here. If I'm an architectural student, I have the right to draw diagrams. I have a right to take notes. And that is what is being criminalized. Our everyday innocent behavior is being criminalized. That is the whole thing. It is about gathering information on everybody. It's about data mining. If it's not about data mining, then why does LAPD want to hold our private information for 10 years, even if they find out that we are innocent? If it's not about data mining and not knowing everything about our private lives, then why are they sending this information into fusion centers? Why are they uploading into all these agencies? 18,000 agencies have access to our information. So I invite you, we ask you, we plead to you, join us. Join us in this campaign. Join the Stop LAPD Spying Coalition. Join the fight today. We must stop these programs that create a culture of paranoia, fear and suspicion, and create a potential for violence against those who are considered suspicious. We cannot allow routine use of innocent activity like taking pictures or using binoculars to open formal police investigations without one's knowledge. We must stop these programs like Special Order 1 and I Watch will amount to policing based upon a hunch, creating numerous false positives. So what's going to happen to the Fourth Amendment then? What's going to happen to probable cause? What's going to happen to reasonable suspicion? Because now the language they are using is, and I quote directly, that what is considered suspicious activity, it is, and I quote, observed behavior reasonably indicative of pre-operational planning or of criminal or terrorist activity. Ilan is here. He's one of the best-known national security lawyers in the country from ACLU. Tell us what do you mean by reasonable indication? Completely vague, overly broad.
I have no idea. Nobody can understand that.
And that's one of the leading attorney on national security with ACLU, Ilan Arulanantam. Reasonable indication of pre-operational planning. Whatever happened to probable cause? Whatever happened to reasonable suspicion? Because there's a long-term strategy over here. Reasonable suspicion came into existence in 1968 through a Supreme Court decision. We don't want to be sitting back 20 years from now when reasonable indication becomes a standard. where people are investigated, people are convicted, people are incarcerated, and lives are destroyed because now we have entered into an era of policing based upon hunch. Policing based upon complete speculation. So please go to the website, www.stoplapdspying.org. Some of us are here. We're going to be marching together. We have some pamphlets. We have our next meeting on August 20th at 6:30 p.m. at MacArthur Park at the UCLA Downtown Labor Center. Go to the website and join the fight. Thank you very much.